Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. It is that time. It's that time once again. It is time to win. It is time to fly high. It is time to soar. It is time to visit Jupiter. Today we're back and we want the smoke. I hope you guys are feeling good. Hope you guys are doing well. Big Steve, yo, what's going on? What's up? Let's do it. Another beautiful day ahead of us. So I'm checking in and I'm taking a look at the scans. The scans seem a little soft, a little on the softer side. We only got a couple stocks, and I believe two of them are cheaper stocks. Pennyland. I'm gonna go ahead and start up my OBS again to make sure I'm screen recording. Make sure your screen recording is turned on for all of those who are in MMU, tuning in the chat room. So I'm keeping an eye on CAPR, OCTO, and ATCH. Those are my top three. OCTO, CAPR, and ATCH. Those are my top three. TNON being mentioned. I'll take a quick look at this one here, which was a hot stock a few days ago. A few weeks ago, rather. Perhaps, yeah, it's up a little today, pre-market. There could be something there. I'll add it to my recent list here, just in case. We'll throw it on there. So that's the list. As usual, it'll be posted to the alert section. FRGT, I see, is also being mentioned. All right, so in terms of trend lines, you know, CAPR, the volume is pretty light, not a ton here. It is continuation. It's curling up versus yesterday's levels. So far today, we've kind of had trouble around $10, and the pre-market highs are $10.53. It would be nice to see a stock like this gain volume and start to put forth some good patterns and some good opportunities. But for now, the volume is lighter, which means I'd be approaching it with very small size. Wouldn't look to be a hero right out into the open, but I'd be waiting patiently for something to form and for it to gain high volume. The main stock for me will be OCTO. This one currently at $4, pre-market high at $4.58. Low of the entire pullback has been $3.51, and the high of our current range is $4.26. VWAP, which is acting as support, currently around $4. Yeah, $4 for VWAP. So how well will we continue to hold the whole dollar area before a potential curl back up? The 200 EMA on the daily is at 380. Definitely a level that I want to keep an eye on. This should be interesting. This should be good. OCTO, hoping it gives a strong, solid move. Other than that, I do have a trend line at 477. I can double check the daily chart, make sure that it's relevant. 477 going back to September of last year for the high point of this big bear flag that it seems like we're on here. So we'll see how this does. OCTO, main stock. And then again, for cheaper stocks, there's ATCH up at 50 cents area for pre-market highs. You know, we're holding above VWAP, likewise with the one we're watching at now. So it should be interesting to see if it does something. It's not going to be my first choice, but you know, if it does move, there could be something there. It's time I reassert my dominance on these penny stocks. It's time, as the 2-minute warning is coming up. So hit that thumbs up and get ready to rock and roll. That's another beautiful day is upon us. Also, there's gonna be some back end cleaning, right? So we're gonna be removing a lot of you know, negative and just toxic people from the chat rooms, both of the chat rooms. So just a heads up, if you want to save yourself, maybe you can still be saved, right? But yeah, just a heads up from the Discord and the YouTube stream alikes. We're gonna be doing an overhaul and a full clean out coming soon. So hit that thumbs up. OCTO. Allow me to have this dance into the open. You guys know I'm a big fan, or at least I used to be a big fan of Dancing with a Star back in like 2009, 2010. Another beautiful day with 45 seconds. Another chance for us to be disciplined. This is the great thing with the market is that there's always another day ahead of us. And so we can always look forward to improving and becoming better. Not much to really say here other than let's trade to the best of our abilities. Let's look forward to the greatness that's ahead of us here today. OCTO. Low 4, high of about 426. We'll see if it's on something. Quick test of those pre-market highs. Will we push through? A little slow to get in. I'll be patient here. I'll wait. It is trying, but it's having trouble. Yeah, it's volatile. And there's a seller here at 25. Aiming for those entries, high teens, but it's moving fast and getting the higher fills. But not because the fills are slow. The stock is just pretty volatile. So a couple of scratch trades. CAPR. It is moving up slowly, keeping it inside of my eyes. I thought the low was 4. The low was 4 for pre-market. We had 14 right there just now, so not a bad pullback. If you're tuning in on YouTube, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Come on, come on. Let's see that continued push. Can we pull away over 40? Can we get the pull away over 40? Try again here. Can we hold, retest? Exciting. Perhaps it's done. Maybe. There's decent volume on CAPR. Not high, but decent. All right, a couple of scratch trades there. Not really able to connect. I think one good entry. I mean, there's a couple of good trades, I guess. CAPR. Let's see. The dip down at 410 initially was decent. TNON, not much there. A bit of a slow start as everything is pulling back a bit. We'll see if this thing does come back. Hopefully it does. The volume going down is not as high as the move going up, but the candle is still pretty young. CAPR hitting 75. FAAS, we'll see how it does. OCTO, still hanging around at VWAP. Nice for OCCO. OCTO. Having a lot of trouble here. The resumption time on the other one is going to be at 42:31. 42:31 for FASS. I'm going to ease off on OCTO not connecting. Resumption at 42:31 for FASS. FAAS. FAAS. I'm going to be saying that name wrong all day. Just a heads up. Time, we got about a minute and some change. It was up in pre-market a couple days ago, sold off, and is now bouncing back up a little bit. FAAS. FAAS. Couple seconds. OCTO is back up. 226. And no bounce. FAAS, no bounce. A lower resumption. A little bit of chop. Start the day. CAPR, no good. Well, I mean, is this curling up? It's just a bit of a slow grind. CAPR is grinding up. There was a red candle a couple minutes ago. OCTO, how are we doing? Dips are dipping. And the last pullback went down to 15. This one much more reasonable though. 14, 427. Couple cents there for 23. And my share size, I gotta fix that. And that's not what we want. Taking a couple cents there for the bounce. A lot of extended dips. The low of the last 5-minute candle. Oh, 5. Right now it's pretty choppy. I mean, it's in a bit of a channel. It's in a bit of a channel, but it's a little choppy. We're seeing some bigger red candles on the way down. So perhaps just overextended trades will make sense. And then until we clear the highs, just being patient for that pull away if it does come, maybe the next 30 minutes, an hour. Can we get another washout here? High of the last candle is 30. The 5-minute chart is decent so far. Once again, I do think it's possible we can see that pull away. Just gotta wait for it. Tight stop here. Is the 17th time the charm for over 40. It's got to be about the 12th, 13th time we're here. Nope. I'm gonna try again. A little early there. I'm gonna try again. Oh, my orders are sitting. Okay. I'm not sure why the lag just comes out of nowhere. The volume is still pretty high on the stock. Sub 4, not really bouncing. Can we see a second flush out? Well, it's gonna break out of the channel to the downside. Not ideal. Not what we want to see. I'm gonna do a quick rotation here. So 8 TCH, not much. CAPR did move up nicely, but again, seemed like a bit more of a grind. FAAS, OCTO, TNON, TNON, the volume is a little on the lighter side. So back on the sidelines, waiting. MSTM being mentioned. I think that's the cheaper one. Oh, no. TNON moving up, lighter volume. The highs for MSGM is up here at 64. 56. 55. $51 for the low of the pullback. 51. High point 64. Waiting patiently here, high or low, high or low, preferably low at this point. It's a pretty high fill. We'll take the 2 cents. There's another 2 minutes for the new 5-minute candle. Might need a little bit more time waiting. 61. The new candle's 15 seconds. TNON moving up with that lighter volume. We're seeing green printing, nothing happening. Where are those bulls, KB? And this is our third time here. TNON. The volume is picking up. Volume is picking up. TNON. MSGM, I'm still gonna keep an eye. TNON. Oh, CTO. MSGM kind of slow sideways. MSGM, I do like the 5-minute setup. I don't mind the re-average if I can get it. Can we continue with the same level of volatility? struggling. Come on. Oh, CTO. Okay. Not bad at all. Well, here we go. The day is starting. Can we get locked in up there? Well, at last. It looks like it's just coming down. Can we bottom? Nope. It's gonna give everything back. Well, short-lived. 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 The new candles, 30 seconds. All right, coming back to MSGM. OCTO, it's still, kind of there. Needs a little more of a bounce. That's why it's important to get the halt up after that kind of a big move. That way you can, lock in and then kind of get that continuation. Much higher chance of continuation up there if the halt happens. MSGM pulling back to the depths. If it doesn't hold here, 50, it's maybe backside. OCTO on the other hand, I do like that we're kind of ascending here. The 1 minute candles did make the new high. Quick dip, nice pop. What did we see? About 40 on that? Can we eventually retest the level? Can we eventually retest the level? It was a good recovery from that initial drop down. I got filled 25. It's kind of high. And it's coming down. I think I'm going to try again. 15 for the lows. Taking 19. The dips. Keep on dipping. Come on. To the depths, brother. Dipping to the depths. Well, the 5-minute setup here is not going to hold up. 5-minute flag around the VWAP area. Going to the depths. So this bounce that we had after the initial flush out is going to prove to be like a bluff. This red candle here that gave this big bottoming wick. Because from about 480 down to 411, it bounced up to 450 with this kind of ascending move here. So taking the dip, and the dip keeps on dipping. So from 486 down to $386 a share drop over the last 5 minutes. Stock's not holding up their levels. So as quickly as the party's going to start, the party's going to end in one candle, essentially. Down here is essentially no man's land for me. So in this area, I'm not looking for a move. I'm watching at different stocks that are going to be uptrending. So, you know, if there is a red to green in this area, I'm not going to really be there watching. Especially if something else is moving and trending up. OCTO. A little choppy. TNON, on the other hand, is sideways, somewhat at the highs. It could open up. 540 is a pretty big level for TNON, but it's been here for some time. It's been here for a minute. And the only issue I have with this stock is that the daily chart, you know, it's like the first day it's making a green candle, but I guess the second day really, but it doesn't really look that good. Like the daily chart is pretty in the depths. Dash, I'd say call somebody else. Call again. Call again and also mention that you have at least 10 different traders in the chat room that you own. Use those exact same words. Say you have at least 10 traders in the chat room that you own that have notes saying that trading stock that are non-marginable, there are no penalties. So how are you being penalized? And watch them start shuffling and fumbling. They're gonna start shuffling. They're gonna be like, oh, let's they're gonna take a look at it, and then all of a sudden your account's back online. See, like something like that, like just it's just kind of silly. Like how's one person's account's getting restricted and disabled while somebody else is being told, hey, just keep trading. What are the rules, Thinkorswim? What are the rules? And they do record all of their phone calls and these things too. So it's like if we're to ever like ask for those recordings, I'm pretty sure we can get them. And not to mention we have screenshots of messages, from like Tim, Kitty, all these different people. But that's crazy that they'll just disable an account for that same thing that we're all doing doing freely. It's like, come on. And then sometimes the representatives, it can be the representatives too, because some of them are like newer and then they don't know. I don't know. That's kind of the vibes that I get. The first guy I spoke to couldn't give me an explanation for 40 minutes until I hung up the phone. The next day I called, somebody else was able to give me an explanation in 2 minutes. So that's like part of, kind of part of it. Kind of have to wrestle with them a little bit until you're able to get the account back. So I'm red 1K here. A little bit of a repeat of yesterday, sadly. ONTO down 700, down 300 on FASS resumption, and scratch trades on the other two. Just pretty inaccurate on old CTO from the start. Through all that consolidation, I think one of the better areas might have been the dip below 414. I kind of, in my head coming in, I told myself, yeah, the range, because we had $4 by 426. And I kind of thought the low was $4. So when it pulled back down there, I wasn't really interested in the trade. So a bit of a lapse on my side here. The red candles have been very aggressive, though. A lot of low of day pullbacks. Even after a breakout over that VWAP level, the pullbacks have still been pretty aggressive. Only one red candle in there holding up, or I guess you can say two. One of them did turn green. TNON seems more like a grinder for now, but we'll see. Maybe it does continue and open up some more. The price action does seem a little messy. The bids are kind of coming down and a lot of chop. CAPR being mentioned in the chat, TNON. I gotta check out some of those cheaper ones as well. ATCH, well, after that initial red to green, not much. We're seeing a lot more chop over these last couple of days. But going back to last week, though, we did have some nice action on those two, I think three stocks that went to like 23 or 26, whatever it was. Yesterday, also pretty decent with that move. Watching back the archives, a lot of the trades are pretty close. Tim had a very interesting area where he was longing the stock and then it gave him a rejection saying he's not allowed to trade it. And then he restarts the platform, then he's allowed to trade it again. Stuff like that is like, I don't know, man. I don't know what could cause something like that, right? Like what restricts an account from trading a stock? So he missed a dip and rip, a lot of chop up until that last portion of the move. And it was interesting that, none of us caught the move up where we had all the halts, right? I mean, it was so aggressive. I think I could see like a trader like Save probably getting in. I mean, Save is even more aggressive than the rest of us. There are some aggressive entries there, man. Like if you took those trades, you just have to know that it didn't go. You're gonna suffer the consequences of those catastrophic drops. But I mean, if you took the trades, I mean, the other side of the trade is always there, right? The other side of the trade. Oh, Jessica, that's not good news. Not good news there. Yeah, we've been hearing about a lot of layoffs too. They did just start to reduce rates, so hopefully in the next couple of weeks this does help out a little bit. But we'll see in terms of like companies like laying off and stuff like that. A lot of chop here, man. A lot of chop. Big Steve, how are you doing? Is Big Steve in the chat today? Dash mentioned that his account was a little restricted there for a sec. Big Steve, brother. Let me see how's Marcelo doing. Was he able to capture something? I don't know if this cuts off my stream. It probably does. Looks like he is flat on the day. Or yeah, small red. Does this cut off my stream? I don't know. If I check his. Big Steve, how you doing today, man? Please tell me you survived this opening chop. Base hit. Surviving the chop is the key, brother. It's early. Maybe something does come, in the next 20, 30 minutes. Watching Tim's trading, man, sometimes it's pretty funny though. Tim will slap on the desk so hard. Tim will slap on the desk. It's like those videos of those guys karate chopping those wood blocks and breaking them. They say with like these, like with like normal jobs, A lot of people like compared to like trading, right? It's like there's risk and there's risk in both. There's pros and cons in both. Like in this field, we have to pay for our own health insurance and things like that. Versus, other companies maybe they provide a health insurance, even if it's like somewhat out of your cut or whatever, right? But it's like at the end of the day, nobody's safe. We have to all know that, there's risk. There's risk. TNON, can we continue to the upside here? 55 bounce, pretty decent so far. The flags are just a lot. I mean, how did the 5 minute chart look? Fair, pretty fair. Okay, pretty fair right there. The flushes. It's like this reminded me of a market where I just stopped buying dips. Maybe I mean, I might just stop buying dips altogether for a few weeks, for a few days, whatever, however much time it takes for the dips to start working again properly, normally. The pullbacks have been just completely egregious. And we expect pullbacks, right? Just no stock can just go up infinitely. There has to be some sort of flow, right? A move up, a move down, sometimes consolidation, then a move up again. But when we go up 80 cents and then we pull back 80 cents, I'm going to lose on the dip every time. It's just part of how I trade. If I buy a 50% retracement and then the retracement happens to be 100%, then I'm going to be in the depths on the dips, which is what's been happening. So what I can do is to stop buying dips until they start working again, which we've seen over the years, and we adjust, and then we wait, and then when they come back again, then we get back to the printing. What I don't want to be doing is buying the dips, and the dips just keep dipping, even after waiting for confirmation in a lot of areas, and somewhat micro in terms of the level two. OCTO just now, I mean, we had a few minutes of consolidation and uptrend for the pullback to still go back to the 200 EMA. If I'm watching it closely, the bottom of that first red candle where we had the drop, I can always take that I can always attempt that dip because you know we're dropping so fast so quickly that once we start to base out, we should see a bounce. Not guaranteed, but we should. That's what usually happens most of the times. Of course, there are days where it just goes down into a halt or whatever, but that's 10, 15, 20% of the times, or even less than that. Most days we're going to base out and bounce because that's what's normal, right? Like, again, no stock can really drop infinitely without bouncing. Again, it's not 100%, but you guys know what I'm saying. So there's going to be a bounce at some point. So after a couple of candles of uptrend and the 5 minute chart is looking strong despite the pullback because we moved up so nicely, then I'll take the retest of the lows of that level. And I'm not trading this one because it doesn't seem like the type of stock I do well on. It's just a little choppy. The 5 minute pullback here. You got a small topping wick, but it could bounce up in this area here. this is a place I would attempt if I'm looking at this stock. MSGM kind of lost its steam. Is it, onto something here? It's been quiet, but it's been giving a couple bottoming wicks. If somebody's just watching this one exclusively, maybe there's been a few entries there, right? For a stock like MSGM. I'm gonna upload the trader view, see how this week has been going. Definitely not the best week. So right in this area here, how are we gonna hold up? The dip below 50, I would have gotten a high fill guaranteed. So let's just say I'm in 48 right here. How well would we hold up here for the bounce? Now, the only thing that's not great about this trade is that we do have the topping wick here versus last time when we pulled back. It pulled back in a much more reasonable manner in terms of expecting the bounce. This dip here on the 5-minute is just a stronger looking pullback to buy than this pullback here, which could essentially be, backside. But we still had a bit of a, extension down. Can we see something back to like 65 if it does curl here? If not, Titanic. Titanic shipwreck. Titan implosion. Titan implosion. You can't pay me to do some madness like that, man. What a freaking week last week, man. Do I have to re-import? I think so. Okay, let's get from Friday to let's see, Friday to today, the 20th. Today is Wednesday. And what's the high? 65 might even be too high. Tomorrow I'm gonna stop. Tomorrow I'm gonna avoid a lot of dips and just look for breakout trades. The dips that I'll look for tomorrow are just gonna be like low of day dips. Unless we get something super strong, then it'll be back to normal business. But import trade. Wait, did I export? Export file. Save. I'll definitely have to import again because I'll be trading again today, more than likely. But something else does come up later. Well, it got 1 cent above where I thought it would go. Better than nothing, I suppose. And then back to the depths. This is what you would expect from a stock. But then on the days where the setup just goes, from here, just another red candle. This red candle here comes early right here, and it's like, brother, where's the dip? Where's the dip? Or I rather where's the bounce, right? This freaking month is in the depths, brother. The month is in the slums. Now, as traders, and I guess I'll speak for myself here, really. I always have high expectations for myself. So, if my performance is like subpar for what I think I could have done, maybe it does sound a little dramatic on the outside. I'm very pleased at the same time, but still, it's like, yeah, there's work to be done, right? But just that's just so the audience, for those people who are new, so you guys can know my personality. Like that's just how I'll talk. Like I'll use these phrases and these words, like the depths, the slums, the gallows. But all that means is a little subpar, a disaster of a day, right? It's a subpar day. May sound a little dramatic, but at the end of the day, we're not like we understand what it is. So second red day in a row. Yesterday was a whole lot of nonsense, as you guys saw. Red 1800 before coming back to green or flat, and then finishing the day down $500. Not great, not great. We took some solid losses on the dips on BNZI. There were some key areas looking back at the level 2. I mean, just some key areas, man. I tell you, you can't let the red at times make you hesitate, as OCTO is at the VWAP. You can't hesitate. If you hesitate, then you can perhaps be getting caught. So it's been a fairly good year. But we've definitely had some more red days than we would like. Even a month like February, which was our best month ever. You can see like there's a lot of red days sprinkled throughout the month. A $3,500 red day on the 20th, I think, which might have been down 5-6K at one point. This is another disaster of a day. I went against my instinct. I said, hey, don't buy with big size and don't buy it close to this level down. And I did both of those things. I bought with big size and I bought close to the level down and got murdered. March, a few red days again, 3, 4, 6 red days here. The red days, they don't bother me. They just have to not be huge. Like we can't be down 5 grand every day and then expect to be doing well. A day like today, I'm not even interested anymore unless something needs to come. Something good has to come at this point, or tomorrow. I would rather wait for tomorrow. I know what it is that I excel on. Hold on. All right, I'm back. April month, one good week. Disaster of a slow month here. Here goes that disaster word again. April, May, slow momentum, man. May, they had us the first half. Not gonna lie. This is like the most consecutive red I saw in a long time. In like good size red for May. OCTO. It's more than likely gonna sell off. We'll see how it plays out here. I have no faith in that thing. Come on, surprise me. Rip up into a halt up here. Let's get the party started again. Surprise me, surprise me. Come on. Skipping price. Jump to the moon. Skipping price and jump to the moon. And nothing. As there's a little bit of green printing. Come on, come on. Skip, skip, skip. Skippity skip. Rip, rip, rip to the moon. It can happen, but it's definitely churning. Skip, 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 skip to the moon. Skip, skip, skip to the moon, to the moon. Skip, 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 skip. Gotta be careful of the fills. Come on. Well, it's definitely lost its steam for any sort of skip. But perhaps it tries again eventually. There's 3 minutes left in this candlestick. Can the 5 minute candle make the new high? Can the 5 minute candle make the new high? Come on. The 1 minute candle to make the new high right there. Not much. The new candle, about a minute and 10 seconds on the 5. Candle closed. We're still not really seeing a bounce. We did see 20 though, 20 to 30. Sounds like something might have halted. Five symbol stock. Are we slowing down? OCTO. Are we slowing down? I'm back on the sidelines for now. We'll see if something does come up in a bit. Checking out the chat room. Oh my gosh. Crispy, brother. Crispy says pawning the M4. Pawning the M4. Yeah, I guess a rough day of trading makes you, get a little sarcastic, right? I'm on the sidelines, just taking it easy. Looks like the boys will be outside tonight for another gig. That should be cool. Low key missed the West Coast, man. Gotta go back to the West Coast at some point, maybe in December or January of this year would be nice. December or January of this year. But yeah, I'm gonna look to shut it down. OCTO, we'll see if if something does come about it, but I'm kind of losing interest again here. I mean, it is flagging though. It is flagging. I will say it is flagging. Can the 5-minute candle make the new high eventually here? We have been seeing higher lows on this move, if I'm to give it some credit for this small range here. So can we see something over 40 and then the retest to 50 over the next 5 or 10 minutes? Over the next 5 or 10 minutes. CAPR. There's 34 for OCTO. 34. CAPR, and there's some volume, 200,000 shares. $11 stock, 11.87 for highs. OCTO is still at like 32, 33. The APR, on the other hand, at 11.32. Time 54. Come on, man. Freaking 52, 42. That was a solid move. Oh, are you kidding me? Alright, cool, whatever. Losing 300 bucks on the way up. But I will say I didn't hold it, the 38 entry long enough. Come on. Are you kidding me? And the wrong stock is on the screen down here. Great. There's a small seller. I already tried twice, well, 3 times for this breakout. Over 80. Not quite. We're not seeing that aggressive bounce. Still no bounce. 54. Sub 40. Still seeing a bit of turbulence down here. I do like that we're still holding the bottoming wick. Time. Our pullback here is at the very lows. The 1 minute candle to make the new high is at 60. Do we need a retest of the lows first? Can we see some more volume here for this push? Just red. Printing. It's like it's trying, but it's it's like the volume is just not coming in high enough off the rip. So it's like a slower grind here. And then very minimal to the downside. Very, very minimal. That pullback definitely better for the longer hold time for sure. No doubt. All right, easing off to the depths. That last pullback there was better for the longer hold time. Just nothing for the scalps. Easing off down 1800. Very similar to yesterday. Well, I've been a little loose these last 2 days too, so tomorrow I'll be a little tighter in terms of any sort of losses. Kind of a little loose today and yesterday, not shutting it down early, and perhaps overstaying my welcome trying to trade this OCTO. The move from 38 was good though. Another trade that you kind of have to just hold through for that full 40 seconds to a minute. The scalps of 10 seconds, in and out, 5 seconds. A little harder to connect on down there as well. Need a little bit more volatility on the way up in terms of the dips. The entry for that 5 minute setup, if I'm to be in to hold for 10 minutes, is of course down there towards like 25, but not aggressive in that range. All right, heading out. I'm gonna take a screenshot here for the chat. Actually, I'll do a recap today since it's up. I'm gonna do a recap for every day that's up or down over 1,000. So I'll do a recap today. In the depths today. Tomorrow again. Tomorrow again. Mentally, I don't mind coming back, but if I do, I'd have to use really small size. But shutting it down, taking it easy. Red 1500 OCTO, which is the main stock of the day. Not good. I got to avoid a lot of the dips, and in these situations where the breakouts are not really suited for the quicker scalps, if I'm not positioned in to hold a little longer, sometimes you might have to just leave them alone. A range like that from like 50 to 60, 65, well, 60 to from 50 to 70, just not anything in there for the scalps really. So you got to watch out for that. Waiting patiently for the market to reshuffle the deck once again. Once we reshuffle, we'll see some smoother, quicker scalps. But until then, I'll probably size down a little bit and wait a little. If there's any quick questions, and I'll re-import the trader view here. If there's any quick questions from the YouTube side, because we have so many live classes in the chat room, that what we're finding is that there's not a lot of questions because we're answering everything almost every day. So if there's any questions on the YouTube side of things, be sure to ask away over the next 5 minutes as I'm re-importing to TraderView. Let's see here, import. Well, actually, we have to export first. Export. We'll do. Well, we can redo everything. Sorry. I'll just save that. We can replace that file. And then trader view, import. I don't know why they added the extra buttons. It's kind of unnecessary. But they did. I think last time it was like automatic. Once you put it in, I think there might have been like an automatic upload. Let's probably give that like 30 seconds. Well, that'll definitely be the biggest red day of the month. And we're red on the week now, 500 bucks. Not ideal, but all right, cool. Tomorrow again. Tomorrow again. Got to do a better job though, just taking it easy and avoiding the bigger drawdowns. Accuracy also dropped 20% in that last 40 minutes. So for those of you, well, actually, let me see. Did any questions come in for the people that might have been done? If not, we'd be out of here. Let's see. Would you rather avoid dips but buy a low probability play with the breakout? Well, I mean, it depends on how the breakout is looking, right? If it, I mean, I think more than half my gains are from breakouts. So it just depends. Like in this particular situation, I just wasn't super interested in the dip. But the dip worked out, right? Sometimes I'll take the dip. I mean, I took the dip earlier today, a couple, maybe too many times, right? The dip didn't hold not once in terms of like a 50% retracement, like in this first area here. This one, actually, this one did. This particular red candle here. From 435 to like 415. But other than that, the dips kind of kept, you know, it's like back down to low of day. And then back down to low of day. So it just depends. This particular area here, you know, the 5-minute setup ended up not coming through, but the 1-minute dips did work for the first few candles. The 5-minute setup here was low of day, and in this situation, the dip held up for the 5-minute setup in this range. So from 420 pushed up, but again, it would be like a 5-10 minute hold for that 5-minute setup, not just a quick 1 minute, you know, pop of like 10 cents or 5 cents. And then here we're kind of seeing a similar wedge. But it does seem like it's downtrending overall. But we did have 2 bottoming wicks after, or 3 bottoming wicks after the initial push. I did take this one, and I was out at like 50, 55, and 56, I think. At 1103. Smaller size, though, just 1500. Was it 1103? Let's see. It was one of them. Well, 50 entry. Hold up. There was one. Maybe it was the other one. Let's see. 57. Was it 57? Hold on. Low. Unless I'm going crazy. I thought I was in on one of them. 49 to 72. 50, 44 to 60. This one just happened. We already stopped. Am I going insane? I thought I was in for one of them scaling out. $50, $54, $57. Yeah, it's kind of giving those lower highs. It's coming down a bit. Maybe I'm going crazy. I thought I took that sub. I thought I took one of the sub 50 dips. Let's see. This I think was before the breakout. Sub 50. Yeah, okay, maybe I'm going crazy. I thought I took one of them. Couple of high of day entries here that didn't work. None of these high of day entries worked for break of 480. $58, $64, $56, $56, $58, $50, and $60. Well, I guess I'm going crazy. I thought I took one of them. Unless maybe I did and my entry was so high that, it's not reflecting mid to high 40s. Perhaps that could be the case too. So after today's loss, the month, we're flat on the week. And then the month, we are at 7.8. So a bit of a slower month, similar to, what was it, July, I think? July, what was the other one? June, no, May. I think it was May. Similar to May, where we started off like down 8K the first 2 weeks. So yeah, tomorrow I think I'm gonna use a little bit smaller size. If the breakouts are choppy, perhaps just avoiding some of them, because even though we're holding up the dips, you'd like to think the continuation move should happen. Sometimes we're not really seeing it. So overextended dips, the regular dip is not really working as of well in terms of like 50% retracement of the move. We're more so seeing an exaggerated dip and then a bounce. So, going from 20 to 80, we have to wait patiently for that bigger dip. So we had candles initially at like 60. The dips is going to come at 44 and 46. 44 and 46. All right, this is a good place to shut it down. I don't think we really got a lot of questions, just like 2 or 3 questions. What days do you trade? Every day, brother. Every day the market is open. Every day the market is open. MACD, never really got into MACD. Some people use it. Some people also use like RSIs and like I met a couple people who were big on like the 21 moving average, the 9. Some people use the 9 moving. Was it EMA or MA? I think regular. Some people also use the 20. Some people use Bollinger Bands. I mean, there's a lot of different indicators that are out there. There's a ton of different indicators. VWAP is kind of like a big staple too for some traders. Some people use book maps, right? Book maps. Well, the stock is pulled back, and it looks like that might be the day. It looks like that's it. The Discord link should be in the description. If not, I can post it here. Let's see. Invite. Copy. Here's the link. Yeah, when it comes to the dip, so there's a question in terms of like focusing on the bid. Yeah, I definitely watch at the bid price, but it's also important to keep an eye on the ask as well because you don't want the spreads to be massive if you're using market. If you're using limit, I guess it doesn't really matter as much, especially if you're going to try to hit the ask. But you want to make sure that the spreads are not super like, wide because you could get filled pretty high up. So whenever the stock is coming down, I'll usually watch the bid price, but I want to make sure that I look over the ask to see that the spreads are a little tight. And then once we're basing out, I'll fire off the trade. But you do have to be careful because if it's not the proper base, then you can see more of a pullback. Sometimes half and whole dollars are pretty big too. Like we'll see dips below half and whole dollars from time to time. Um, like let's say like 440, like in this case 440. Sometimes like below the whole dollar of like 4, you'll see like 95, 94, and then they move back up to maybe like 405, stuff like that. Like this pullback came down to 96, and then a small bounce back to 10. So even 10 from below the whole dollar is pretty good. Sometimes we'll just see like 4, 5, 6 cents above. So that's pretty decent. Let's see. Okay, I think that might have been all the quick questions that came in there. I think that might have been all the quick questions. All right, so shutting it down for those of you going till 4 p.m., which I know a few people will. Continue to be disciplined, continue to be patient, and if you see the opportunities that you know and love, attack them without fear. But if the markets are choppy, ease off, size down, maybe shut it down, whatever you have to do. And then we'll be back again tomorrow. Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, we'll see if we can finish out the week on a stronger note. And yeah, stay safe, stay green. The Pastor. Looking forward to tomorrow. Stay safe, stay green.